dear learners. I'm Christina Georgy and I welcome you to my channel. Today we'll discuss Indian English literature. So this video is part 2 of what we have already dealt with. To the age of great pioneers, that is 1820 to 1870. So let's have a look at the major Indian English writings of this era. So firstly, poetry. Indian English poetry is the oldest form of Indian English literature. So do you know who the first Indian poet is? Have you heard of Prose? Yes, indeed, you must have learned his poems during your school days. So Henry Louis Vivian Derousseau is considered the first poet in the lineage of Indian English poetry. So let's have a detailed look at Derousseau and his literary output. So this is Derousseau's picture. As you know, he is the first Indo-Anglian poet, half Indian and half Portuguese by birth. The Harp of India is one of his most renowned works of poetry. The Fakir of Jahira is a narrative prose. Moving on to the other prominent poets of the time, that is Kashi Prasad Ghosh. The Shair and other poems in 1830 made him quite famous. So this is a portrait of Ghosh. And we also have Michelle Madhusudanan Dutt. The Captive Lady in the year 1849 is a well-renowned work by Madhusudanan Dutt. Moving on to the next literary genre, which is prose. The prose was prompted by the twofold impulse of rediscovery of the Indian past and a strong awareness of the problems of the day. What does that mean? It included themes such as the lost glory of India and the contemporary problems. So we already mentioned Ram Mohan Roy. So he was one of the prominent figures in the early Indian English prose. Let's have a look at him. He was the first Indo-Anglian prose writer, a master of lucid English prose. His notable works include A Defense of Hindu Theism and Precepts of Jesus in the year 1820. He also wrote some tracts and pamphlets. So he was simply the inaugurator of the modern age in India. Moving on to the other prominent prose writers of the era. Firstly, Dadabhai Naoroji, one of the freedom fighters who shaped the history of India. Poverty and un-British rule in India is one of the most notable works by Dadabhai Naoroji. The next prominent prose writer is Mahadev Govind Ranade. He was not just a patriot but also a social and religious reformer. Essays in Indian Economics was his famous work. Moving on to geopolitical scenario of the era. The revolt of 1857 happened during this time. The Brahmo Samaj by Raja Ram Mohan Roy got its foundation during this time. Arya Samaj by Swami Dayanand Saraswati also got formulated during this era, and it was during this period from 1857 to 1920 that the Indian ethos gradually underwent a sea change. This simply means that there happened a huge transition in the Indian socio-cultural and political scenario, and all these reflected in literature as well. So that's all for this video lecture. We'll deal with the next part in our upcoming video. So till then, take care, keep watching, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.